My name is Emily, and I'm the creator of the Tumblr blog You Know You're Addicted to Books When. I will be reading the challenged book from Sarah Dessen called Just Listen. The hallway that led to my room and Whitney's was lit up as well, the only shaded part in the middle from the chimney. As I stepped into the sudden dark, I smelt the steam. Or felt it. All I knew was that suddenly it was like the very air changed, becoming heavier and more moist. For a second I just stood there, breathing it in. The bathroom was all the way at the other end of the hall. There was no light beneath the door, but as I moved towards it, the steam got thicker and more pungent, and I could hear the sound of the water splashing. It seemed so bizarre. I could understand leaving a faucet running, but the shower? Then again, Whitney had been acting weird ever since she got home, so anything was possible. I finally reached the half-open door, pushing it open. Immediately it hit against something, then swung back at me. I eased it open again, the steam now thick in my face, already condensing on my skin. I couldn't see anything, and all I could hear was water, but I reached blindly to my right, my hand moving over the wall until I found the switch. Whitney was lying on the floor at my feet. It was her shoulder the door had hit when I first tried to open it. She was curled up slightly, a towel knotted around her, cheek pressed against the linoleum. The shower, as I expected, was on full blast, and the water was pooling in the bottom, too much for the drain to handle. "Whitney," I said, crouching down beside her. I couldn't imagine what she was doing here in the dark, alone, so late at night. "Are you—" Then I saw the toilet. The lid was up, and inside was the yellowy mix, tinged with red that I knew, somehow, with one look, was blood. "Whitney!" I put my hand on her face. Her skin was hot, wet, and her eyelids fluttered. I reached down, shaking her shoulder. "Whitney, wake up!" She didn't, but she did move, just enough that the towel came loose, and then, finally, I saw what my sister had done to herself. She was all bones. That was the first thing I thought. Bones and knobs, every bump of her spine protruding and visible. Her hips poked out at angles, her knees were skinny and pale. It seemed impossible that she could be so thin and still be alive. And even more so that she'd be able to somehow hide this. As she shifted again, though, I saw it, the one thing that would stick with me forever. The sharpness of her shoulder blades as they rose out of her skin, looking like the wings of a dead baby bird I'd once found in our yard, hairless and barely born, already broken. "Daddy!" I screamed, my voice so loud in the tiny room. "Daddy!" The rest of the night I remember only bits and pieces. My father, fumbling to put on his glasses as he ran down the hallway in his pajamas. My mother behind him, standing in that one shaft of light at the other end of the hall, illuminated, her hands over her face as he pushed me aside and crouched down beside Whitney, putting his ear to her chest. The ambulance, the swirling lights of which made the entire house seem like a kaleidoscope, and then the silence once it was gone, with Whitney and my mother inside, my father following in his car behind. I was told to stay where I was and wait for word.